In the meantime, the events behind yesterday have left many people confused. The question we're hearing, why would someone do this? Well, here to join us to talk more about the psychology of the suspect is Dr. Joshua Williams. Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
First of all, what went through your mind when you heard about this?
There's an old saying about when we keep doing something over and over again, expecting a different outcome. It's called
insanity.
Yes. And we have been on this couch in this studio, in these vigils, in these horrified circumstances over and over and over again. We have become very expert at reacting. We reflexively establish memorials on the streets. We, in some cases, loot and burn, but these are all reflexive responses to horrific situations. We rarely talk about prevention, which is a longer-term project.
All right, very well put and spot on. I think sometimes people don't know what else to do.
And yet these young people in these situations rarely, if ever, just pop out of nowhere. This is a young man who made very direct references to his thoughts and feelings in his high school yearbook. This is a young man who came from a conflicted family where there was violence, where he was abused, where his mother was allegedly sexually abused and tormented by his father. And somehow our community knew these things, and this young man fell through the cracks.
Or did we know? Did we know all these? I mean, we knew about the yearbook picture, but so many of the friends that the media has talked to have said, we had no idea. He was such a gregarious guy.
That's true, but there were agencies involved where there was a restraining order, there are allegations of spousal abuse, and we have mechanisms in place to take care of situations like this. One of the things I've noticed is that we have a real reluctance, perhaps because we want to respect people's privacy, to call out to other authorities or agencies and say, I think we need to ask what's going on in this home or with this young man. It's the same sort of thing that we see with people who are suicidal and we're afraid to ask, are you thinking of hurting yourself? You always ask. And we don't joke about being suicidal, and we don't joke about being a terrorist or having bombs or shooting people. These are things that we take very seriously and have to take the next step to get these people help.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a mental illness behind this, judging for what you know and the people you've treated and the actions that happened?
Illness almost suggests it's like a cold that you catch. This is a lost soul. And somehow this young man had an emptiness that was filled with propaganda, with false promises, with who knows what. And where is our community filling in those blank spots and embracing these young people and saying, let us help you because you're important, you're part of our family, you're part of our community.
And that's your message today. Don't be worried about that awkward moment that you feel that you're putting someone on the spot or judging them. If you feel like there's just the red flag, your inner voice is saying, something's not quite right here.
And at the same time, we want to avoid stereotyping and making assumptions about people. So if there are polite ways to ask reasonable questions, that's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be castigating any faith or any persuasion or any color simply on the surface value of what that means.
Before I let you go, I do want to ask you about this because I've noticed with the shooter in Charleston and now these are young people.
They're young people with access to lethal firepower, which is a question no one seems to raise. When the shootings took place in Charleston, we rushed to get rid of the Confederate flag, but the third rail issue in the presidential campaign right now is gun control or background checks. Reasonable steps to making it less convenient for people who are deeply troubled to get lethal weapons.
All right, Dr. Joshua Williams, as always, thank you for helping us shed light and try to make sense of this, if that's possible.
I hope we stop meeting this way. We talk about back to school and how we can reassure our children about the good things that are about to happen.
Let's do that next time.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Well,